There's no denying that the most popular sorts of cars in India are compact hatchback. But let's face it, most of us Indians do love our SUVs. So is it possible to have a car that has the best of both worlds? Well, Renault certainly thinks so. This is the new Renault Kwid. Technically, it's a compact hatchback that has been designed and engineered with some traits of SUVs. Now, this is built on Renault's CMF platform. It's a global car. It's been engineered in India but with inputs from the rest of the world. And it's pretty much the epitome of low-cost engineering. In fact, when the car was revealed in India a few months ago, Renault's big man Carlos Ghosn himself had come down for the launch, and it's probably a culmination of his dream, his goal to take lessons of low-cost engineering learned on the Tata Nano and take them a few steps further. And Renault seems to think that they have done just that. Well, how good is the car? That's exactly what we are here to find out.
The Renault Kwid is pretty much the poster child for low-cost engineering. Yes, everything has been built to a price, but it's all to serve a purpose of providing the maximum car for the minimum of parts. Lightweight has been the mantra throughout the car, and everything from the body shell to the engine and even the number of screws that hold the various bits of the car together have been kept to a minimum. So while in a regular car, the weight of all the screws would amount to about 20 kgs, on the Kwid, the engineers have managed to bring that down to a mere 8 kgs. But that doesn't mean the car is not well put together. Far from it. And in fact, the Kwid is one of the best made cars in its segment. Even the engine has seen a few weight-saving measures. Apart from an all-aluminium block, parts like the intake manifold and the oil pan are made out of weight-saving plastic. And speaking about the engine, the 799cc 3-cylinder motor features a dual overhead cam setup and 4 valves per cylinder to make 54 PS of power and 72 Nm of torque. Not the highest figures in the segment, but thanks to the car's lightweight of just 660 kilos, the Kwid does sport one of the best power to weight ratios in its class.
Now, driving the Renault Kwid is a fairly good experience. As you can see, I've got a lot of room here. It's all about maximizing that cabin space, maximizing all the space you've got in this car, as Renault has done, basically giving the most with the least. It's also a very well put together interior and also very well designed. I like this piano black finish on the center console. The knobs and switches also have a certain feeling of quality to them. Plus you've got the 7-inch touchscreen multimedia system here with navigation built in. That's a very nice feature in the top end model. Overall, it's a very nice cabin to be in. One thing, however, that does irk me is that the side view mirrors, well, they don't have internal adjusters, which I think is a missed opportunity in my book. It's very easy to lose your adjustment on the mirror because of that. That being said, the seats are very comfortable, though they are a bit on the smaller side in terms of under-thigh support. But I think that's okay. That's pretty much at par with this segment. It's difficult to do better than this in this class of car. Now, the 800cc engine that it's got, it works fairly well at low to moderate speeds. It's not a very fast car, obviously, for obvious reasons. It's been tuned for efficiency and it shows. Now, Renault says that this will give the best in-class efficiency. In fact, the most efficient petrol car in India will be the Kwid once it goes on sale. 25.17 kilometers per liter. Now that's saying something. Of course, real world figures might differ. We'll see those when we actually get the car for a full road test. But it's easy to see that this car is tuned for mileage more than outright performance. When it comes to suspension, it's very well sprung. It takes bumps and potholes pretty much in stride. Now that being said, it is a very light car, among the lightest hatchbacks in the world. It's just 660 kilos, which means if you hit a large undulation at speed, it does send the car into this bit of a tizzy. But that's okay. I think the sacrifice of that outright stability over these massive bumps is worth the gain you have in terms of mileage and in terms of, just overall refinement of the motor. When it comes to handling, of course, it's not an outright handler. It handles decently for its class, and you really can't expect much in this segment. It does it well. If you push it hard into corners, it does understeer, but I think that's to be expected with these cars, all of these small or mini hatchbacks rather, I would say, in this segment. But now that I've experienced how it is in the front, I think it's time to stop the car and get in the back and see what's up with the back seats. Now moving from the front to the back, things are quite good as well. I've got plenty of knee room here. The front seat is set to my driving position, so it's quite far back. I've got plenty of shoulder room and plenty of headroom right here. This car can seat 5 people, no problem. Okay, maybe 4 of me, but 5 of normal people shouldn't be a problem. Renault has really maximized the space inside the cabin and the car, and also extends to the boot. Let me show you that in just a second. If you lift this up right here, you see there's plenty of boot space here, 300 liters worth of boot space. If you've got 2 big bags and a small bag in here, there's room for a couple of big bags as well. I think Renault has done a very good job with the packaging of the Kwid.
When it comes to design, it's important to remember that the Kwid is not actually an SUV. And the best part is, Renault isn't even billing it as one. Renault says that the Kwid is an SUV-like compact hatchback, and that's something we can totally get on board with. That being said, it certainly is the most unique looking car in its segment, with a tall stance, large front grille and bumper, muscular haunches, and high shoulder line. The small 13-inch wheels do give the illusion of the Kwid being taller than it actually is, but still it is the largest car in this subcompact segment. There's also good use of black cladding all around to further add to the illusion of this being a go-anywhere car. More interestingly, Renault also offers a variety of customization options for Kwid buyers that include some 60 optional bits of both internal and external trim, and literally dozens of decal kits that will really ensure that very few Kwids look alike.
After having spent some time driving the Renault Kwid, initial impressions are quite positive. Renault has pretty much delivered on whatever they had promised with this car. Now, what remains to be seen, of course, is the pricing. Now, Renault says that they're going to surprise us with the pricing when the car launches in a couple of months' time. We hope it's a positive surprise, somewhere in the range of 3 to 5 lakh rupees. If they can manage that, they'll hit the nail bang on the head. And whether that's enough to actually make a dent in a segment that's dominated by the Alto, well, that remains to be seen. It depends on the user experience, it depends on the end cost of ownership. But Renault say that they have worked on that as well. But one thing is for certain, this car definitely takes India a few steps further on the global automotive picture, and for that, well done Renault.